Hello and good morning. This is Lady Bo Bannon coming to you from my car in the great state of Texas. It has been a long time since I last made a video and so much has changed in life. It is Thursday, March 20th, 2020, and it's hard to say what the future holds. So, since the last time that I made a video, I decided to prioritize the goals for this year. And I was thinking of doing some legal action, but that has been put on the back burner for a while, if not permanently, because the number of cases of the COVID-19 illness has exploded. This novel coronavirus has swept the globe. Now, I remember seeing something about it last year around Christmas, and when I went to a event, I saw a few people with masks on. Now, at the time, it seemed to be something that was just going to affect China. But as the cases exploded and the videos started coming out of people having to be forced to quarantine, of empty streets, of hospitals just overflooded with patients, I began to grow concerned. And then the virus broke out in Italy and it spread. And now, as I said, it's in the United States. In my area of the country, if you look at the numbers right now, you'd have to essentially multiply it by 2 to 3. So we have about 67, probably 70 cases by this morning, if not more, in my area of the country. Now, we have been told that bars need to close, gyms need to close, and schools need to be closed. And that's come down from the governor. Restaurants can still operate right now, but it's only going to be to-go, delivery, and takeout, which is kind of scary because you have people walking up who could easily transmit this virus. You have independent contractors working for Uber Eats and DoorDash, and you don't know what precautions they've taken. Now, just from my experience, a lot of people in those jobs do take it seriously, and they would take the extra precautions because they think of the customer like they think of themselves. They think about what they would want for themselves in a delivery/customer service experience like that. I can attest to that since I've been a driver. Now, since this stuff, really started rolling to the United States, I decided to stop driving because even though I had gloves, even though I have hand sanitizer, and even though I wash my hands, it's just going to be hard to practice social distancing when you have so many people, coming to pick up, and you have small little waiting, lobby areas. And plus, there's the issue of people still not wearing gloves who work at various places. So yeah, it's a no for me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about what I've witnessed in society. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've tried to sound the alarm, and a lot of my acquaintances on Facebook mocked me and laughed at me, said that I was overreacting, said that, the United States would never be put on a lockdown. Well, California issued a shelter in place, which, in my opinion, is just nice wording for a lockdown. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, right now, has implored people to stay home and for businesses to send home non-essential employees. Now, even though they're not practicing social distancing in front of, a live audience on camera, they are imploring people to also do social distancing, like stay 6 feet away from others. And I'm definitely not seeing that in my area. People are still going around like normal. They're not wearing masks. I mean, the information out there is that masks don't work. But if they don't work, then why are they asking for a lot of personal protection equipment, including masks? Now I know it has to be a certain type of mask, like the N95, and there's some others, but something is better than nothing, and I'm just wearing my little raving claw facial mask, so, whatever. But yeah, so I've noticed that a lot of people, who were mocking me are now starting to take it a little more seriously, and they're sharing articles about the research and about how serious it should be, how it's not just the elderly that get it, because people are living in a fantasy world thinking that, only their grandparents or whatever, or maybe their parents would get it. They're young and healthy. What difference does it make? Well, the difference is made by you staying home, people. We need to do non-pharmaceutical interventions, and they need to be aggressive, meaning that people have to stay away from one another, and if they are going to be around one another, they have to keep a certain amount of feet and not physically interact, because right now there's no vaccine for this novel. I promise I don't have it. This novel coronavirus, and the way we keep it from spreading is to contain it as best we can so that our hospital systems aren't overran. China had to build a lot of makeshift hospitals in a short amount of time, and Italy has had to build makeshift hospitals, or 10 hospitals outside of the main hospital because of the overflow. The President of the United States has he's instructed to have 2 military or some hospital ships, come on the West Coast and the East Coast so they can treat people who aren't infected with the virus. But if they're not really testing people, then how do you know that you're not bringing the virus on the ship and just infecting everyone there? Oh, it's like living in a disaster movie. There's so many people in this cognitive dissonance. They can't accept the reality before them. And I think those of you who have suffered narcissistic abuse can totally relate. You've had the facts in front of you, but it's easier to live in a state of mind that doesn't give you a lot of anxiety and doesn't force a lot of change upon you, because there's a lot of change that's about to be forced upon the population. And in my opinion, I think there's something that they're not telling the people. Now, hopefully my channel stays on, because, well, no. If you know, you know. I think there's been, I'll just say it. I think there's been some censorship on Facebook. There was some glitch or something in their algorithm or AI or whatever that was causing people's posts to be flagged and taken down. And, I've recently seen some screenshots of, notifications being sent to people telling them that, basically they made a mistake and the content's back up. But I thought it was sort of suspicious. And when I've been posting a lot lately on Facebook about, the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak. And I found it a little hard to post. And before, I didn't have any trouble sharing something to my feed and it popping up. Now, maybe it's just because there's a lot more stress on the network, but, I find it kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe that's narcissistic of me to say that, but, I'm also noticing the selfishness in people as people panic buy, because I've seen so many stories of parents needing to buy wipes. There's no wipes. They have an issue with finding diapers. I've gone to my local Kroger now, and the shelves are cleared of canned goods, and the meat is all gone by the end of the day. Before, I could go and I could find ample supply of anything that wasn't put up, as far as meat is concerned. But now, I have to go to the Asian supermarkets and the little Hispanic meat markets in my area. I don't have any problem finding food there. They're filled with like fruits and vegetables. And speaking of, I don't know why people aren't eating their fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's a little picked over at my local Kroger as far as berries and stuff are concerned. But there's oranges and apples and stuff like that. And I'm looking around like, what the heck? And there's lots of vegetables. Why aren't people buying up this? I get getting canned goods, but I also believe in eating, whole foods, real foods. Not having all the salt. Now, I am a fiend for sugar. I will admit that. I do like sugar, cake, baked goods and stuff like that. But, I like the natural taste of things. And if I want a little kick, I'll just put some herbs and spices on it. But anyway, I just noticed a lot of people being selfish, just no regard for one another. It's going to take a community effort, guys. It's going to take community effort. I understand people need to be stocked up, but you could do it gradually. You don't have to grab, 50 cans of soup. You gotta really think that out. You're gonna need some other types of nutrition. You're gonna need other types of supplies. Do you have first aid supplies? Do you have feminine hygiene products? Do you have, basic cleaning supplies or the ingredients that you can make cleaning supplies with? Is your gas tank full? Do you have cash on hand? Do you have personal protection equipment like gloves, masks, any type of mask? But yeah, so this definitely is the age of pathological narcissism because it's coming out in people. But people when they're desperate and they go into their fight mode to survive, they're not going to act in the in the most pleasant of ways, But I'm definitely just seeing a rise in selfishness and also stupidity. It's like people are being stupid and selfish and just doubly effing themselves, going out and about among a large number of people, or they were before they before they limited the number of items you could get and changed their hours in the stores. They were just rabid, I'd say. People are just rabid. But, they also don't want to listen to facts and scientific information. I understand that, there's a lot of things that we still have to learn about this virus, but there are people who have actually researched it and put out information. There's people who are breaking down that information, and people just don't want to listen. They want to live in a false reality, much like pathological narcissists. Even if you get them face to face with the truth, they just want to live in their, delusion. And it's a delusion that people are walking around thinking that, life's the same. It's not. We're in a different world, people. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that I'm okay. I'm pretty much holed up in my house. I've only been out to get supplies. I've worn a mask and gloves. But it's still hard to not rub my eyes and touch my face. So I'm having to learn, a new way of life, like everyone else. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to keep up with me, and hit the bell to be notified of new videos. This has been Lady Bannon, and I'll talk to you soon.